All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the true forward with General Sahara said he kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepted members to not only the Sarah Seti YouTube page, but the General Seti YouTube page, two dynamic powerhouse institutions on YouTube, giving you nothing but black power, black divinity. I want you to subscribe immediately. I want you to become a member. The link for the memberships is right down in the video description. Is in the chat. All you have to do is just click it. You get a video introduction rundown on the membership, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarah Seti General Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. The General got a new website up on Teachable, uploading a lot of dynamic curriculums, powerhouse programs, certificate courses. First one up, 25 Steps to the Redemption of Definitive Black Manhood, designed by the General strictly for the brothers. It's an amazing, amazing course. You can get a preview by clicking the link in the chat. Also included the Brotherhood of Heru Roundtable live stream where the brothers meet once a week, discussing very vital, very powerful, very important information pertinent to our growth and development. Get over there, check it out, family, and become a brother, become a member today. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarasu Seti, DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessory for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like and love. Get over there, check out the catalog, get a discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, GeneralSeti.com, Seti University, over 2,500 videos, 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love from the General. Is not another website nowhere on the planet that could compare, compete. You should become a member today. Everybody know the General popping on Patreon. We got that fire dropping today. Ancient Egypt, military colony of Mother Ethiopia. Also dropping the Emerald Tablets, DNA codes of the Dragon bloodline. And man, this is going right here is a mega opus for real, for real. This is all powerful. The 72 chambers of the pineal gland, man, be in the house. Don't you dare miss it. This is going to be at least a 3 or 4 part series because it's just that deep. Click that link at the top of the chat and be in the house. To all the family that donate to the General, I thank you, appreciate you. Those would like to donate, the link is right there in the chat. And I thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King Seti, General Seti, Sarah Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Share with your family and friends and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. Now, we talking about has Atlantis been found in Africa? You got a lot of people now believing that Atlantis has been found in Africa. I do believe that, you know, whatever the city of Atlantis is, that it was mimicked after the great cities that you see in the now. When we talking about, man, listen, even what they show you in cartoons, in AI, in all of that. And when I go to Egypt, man, listen to me. I'm going to tell you what's blow that shit out the water. Just going to Egypt and looking at Egypt in the decay that it's in. You understand what I'm saying? In the decay that it's in. Imagine ancient Egypt when it was alive and everything was pristine. There is no, they can't even duplicate that in goddamn AI. They can't even duplicate that. You see what I'm saying? That is more mind-boggling than anything that I could even imagine. You see, I remember when I first got to Kemet and we was coming to the Giza Plateau. And we were in the front of the Giza Plateau where the hole is in the, you know, you got the hole in the pyramid. One of them Arabs blew a hole in there trying to get in and whatever. And we was walking around to the back where the solar boat, the solar ark of Khufu was. And man, I stepped out. When you walk out there, the Nile is behind it. You see what I'm saying? You can see the Nile. And man, I looked up. It's like you got a panoramic view, right? Looking down in, the Nile. And man, I could see pyramids. You could just see them all lined up down the Nile. I say, this is like, it's impossible. What am I witnessing here? You see what I'm saying? So people acting like, the story of Atlantis, Egypt in its grandeur is even more mind-blowing than Atlantis in AI. The shit that they create in AI still, because I seen things with my own eyes, the physical reality that'll blow that shit out the water. So, when they talking about Atlantis, they are talking about the cities, some miraculous cities that of ancient Egypt. That's what it is. And they create this story and things of that nature, and there's some esoteric understanding there too. There's some esoteric understanding there too. But the city, as in folklore, is one of the Nile Valley cities. That's it. It very well could be Memphis. You see, it very well could be Memphis, because Memphis was at the headwaters, the mouth of the Nile. And so, it was very, waterish, it was water everywhere down in that area. You see, plus the Nile, and then you got the Delta. You see, so it ain't no telling. You feel me? But I know for sure that no other place on the planet it had that capability to create cities like that. No other area in the world had the ability to do that, and none could compare. Herodotus had went all around the world in that day. He had went into Mesopotamia. He had went into them areas over there. He had went to India. He had went into areas of the areas of Etrusca and all through there. And when he came to Egypt, he said there is no nation on the planet that has so many wonders that defy logic and boggle the mind. You see, period. No other nation. And so, you might got one you got one temple and one great temple, but here is just endless amounts of amazing, mind-blowing artifacts, megaliths, and so on. So if it had to be anywhere in the world, where else could it be? You see, you're going to need, if you're dealing with the ingenuity of man, then you're going to have to go through Africa. That's just all it is to it, because the other civilizations was they went to school at the feet of the Africans. They didn't have, and they could never create the megalithic greatness that we created. And so if anybody had an Atlantis, it was, and like I say, Plato, and we know a lot of this, but he heard it from the Egyptian priests. If it wasn't for Egypt, how would you know about it? So that's so you have to look at the portal that you got to jump through to get to Atlantis, and you had to go through Egypt. It was the Egyptian priest that spoke to Plato. He didn't know nothing about no Atlantis. You never heard no ancient source ever mention Atlantis except Plato, and he said he heard it from the Egyptian priest. Now, a lot of people say Plato didn't exist, and he very well didn't. But I tell you what, the literature that they have attributed to him is the only source that speak of Atlantis. And so if you want to throw it away, go right on ahead. Don't mind. It won't bother me none. But if you want to deal with the source that, speaks of Atlantis, is the works of Plato. And again, he heard it from the ancient Egyptian priest. So outside of that, you wouldn't have. So all that trying to go through some goddamn Mayan and some, ain't no Mayan or none of that. The Atlantis is from Africa. It was spoken of by African priests. Let's deal with this. Let's get some of these videos in here right now.
In Africa, it's one area in Africa that he believes is Atlantis. And he says it has all the hallmark characteristics and evidence of massive water erosion surrounding the area, that at one point in time, it's very likely that this area got hit with a massive flood, and it matches all the characteristics of Atlantis. When you see it, when you see the way the concentric circles of rings, like try explaining this through a natural phenomenon that doesn't exist anywhere around it. Right. Concentric.
And just like you're saying, brother, down 11 concept. Atlantis could be Nirvana. You see, it could be the stages of, the highest stage of evolution. You see, that's what it could be. It's some. I haven't tapped into that one so much, but I have to get into the story for real. They said it was destroyed by a flood. You see, the higher self. That's what it is, Atlantis. You see, the higher self, and the flood could be where man, descended, where we lost ourselves. Black Power family, we lost ourselves, and we lost the traditions that evolved us to that state. And so that was our destruction when we began to, we began to lose who we were, and we started, dealing with these outsiders and shit, and and that was the flood. That was the flood but it can be awakened. That's what the story says. The story said that it can be awakened, and so that's much similar to the Kundalini. You see, as much, yeah, that's right. So here it is. Say, how tall was the tsunami? It's esoterical. You see, it's esoterical. It could be tall enough to end civilized, because we got great civilizations and shit, and it didn't have to be no single event. You feel what I'm saying? It could be stages of descent, That's the tsunami, the stages of descent. You can see, where we had them intermediate periods in Egypt, where we lost, the national command, and we broke back off, and sometimes that's necessary. Goddamn it, if the national leadership is not strong, sometimes you have to break apart to come back together. You see what I'm saying? But and eventually, them last stages allowing these Neanderthals to come into Egypt, and all these Asians and shit to come into Egypt. That was the goddamn tsunami. That was the damn tsunami. Yeah. Here we go.
Is Atlantis. And he says it has all the hallmark characters. The guy that thinks that they found the spot in Africa, it's one area in Africa that he believes is Atlantis. And he says it has all the hallmark characteristics and evidence of massive water erosion surrounding the area, that at one point in time, it's very likely that this area got hit with a massive flood, and it matches all the characteristics of Atlantis. When you see it, when you see the way the concentric circles of rings, like try explaining this through a natural phenomenon that doesn't exist anywhere around it. Right. Concentric circles that is near what used to be water, and there's heavy water erosion marks all around it that indicate massive amounts of quick flowing water in a very short period of time. Now imagine if that was this massive city of concentric circles and walls and a thriving population, and then it gets hit with this water.
Send me a message at General City at yahoo.com.
The whole thing looks like it's washed out. See? Yeah. It looks like it was washed out because it was. Right.
Yeah, send me hit me up on General City at yahoo.com, and we see what it do. Yeah. So, they talking about now that's interesting. That's interesting because we hear about, the Sahara used to be, it used to be lush. You see, even when you look at and you go up there in the caves of Libya and up and around through that, where you find them rock paintings. What is that? Tassiliangia. Tassiliangia, and you see the animals that's up there on the rock paintings, and you know what I'm saying? You see, and the peoples was look like, our people were just traditional, got just really with damn near no clothes on. You see, we didn't need them at that time. You feel me? We was living. You feel me? It ain't that day to day, but that's where we was at that time. And so, so you can see a whole different world. So we don't know what's there. We don't know what's missing. We don't know the whole story. And if we quick to cut it off, then I leave room. I leave room. I leave room because it's a never ending story. Knowledge is a never ending story. There's no end. It's always just, you reach a point, but it's still an infinite amount of knowledge to know. You have to keep moving forward. So I leave room. And so, yes, I understand that there's, it's a lush area and it's probably things that's under that sand that's yet to be revealed. It may be revealed. It may not be revealed. It may be some things that reveal itself. It may be things that is never revealed, if it was lush at one time, it very well could be lush again, depending on the cycle of the earth. You see what I'm saying? Depending on, just like it's an ice age, it ain't an ice age right now, but if it was an ice age once or twice, more likely it's going to be one again. When that season and this cycle, the earth cycle and the sun cycle is at a point where if it come back around to that same point where it created, in the ice age happened at that point on the solar cycle, then more likely it's going to happen again. And so, they saying that, it's a possibility that the Sahara could be coming back right, the vegetation in the Sahara could be coming back right now. What I'm understanding, that certain areas is starting to, get vegetation again. You see? Yeah, so that's how it is. And so we got another video I'm going to put up here, family. Let's check it out.
Story. A myth told by Plato over 2,000 years ago. A utopian empire that vanished beneath the sea. But what if it never sank? What if it was buried? On land? Deep in the Sahara Desert, there's a massive ringed formation.
Nah, another thing where we got to understand that it's a lot of earth, it's a lot of areas that didn't sunk. Nah, there's areas that didn't sunk. If you go down in the Delta region right now, there's all type of artifacts down in the water right now. You see, because like I said, they didn't dam the river. Egypt is the gift of the Nile. So Egypt, for millions of years, the silk has been coming up out of Ethiopia, coming down, from the highlands of Ethiopia, all that good, rich silk that they use to fertilize, the ground, so they can plant, and having 3-4 damn harvests in the damn season. You see what I'm saying? That's how it is. You having 3 and 4 harvests, you see, or 5 in the damn season. Well, yeah. So ask the question. But as you ask me and put it in there, I'm gonna move forward because we close to the end of this one. But go ahead and ask me. But so the silk coming down there and filling the delta up. But when they dam the river, they stop the process. And so a lot of that land that's down there in the delta start breaking off and going back into the river. Into the sea. And so you can go down there and it's all type of, statues and temples, and that's under that water down there at the mouth of the Nile River. And then you got that one city over there, Dwarka, you know, over there in India. They got a whole lot of stuff on the right off that coast down there. So it's been areas that sunk. You see, it's been areas that sunk. That's a fact. Now, if it has it been an area where a whole and then a lot of people think that maybe you know some islands in the Mediterranean very well may have been, but they were still under the control of Egypt, like when that Mount Vesuvius blew, you know, erupted, you know, and that was a very powerful goddamn eruption. That damn Mount Vesuvius was a very powerful eruption, and a lot of time when you have, go ahead. You see how he was a Phoenician? Well, they speak, well, you know what? They speak, what you do is, because we at the end of this one, what you do is you come on the next one and we'll bring that with you. It's only going to take me 2 minutes to get fired up. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you know, again, they've got evidence of cities and things going up on, or Mount Vesuvius. That's the one. When they had a tsunami from when they had, because normally when they have a damn volcano eruption on that scale, you know what I'm saying, that shit shot shit in, you know, and it changed the temperature on the earth for a while. You know what I'm saying? They have tsunamis out there in the Mediterranean, and very well, you know, it could have been Crete. It could have been a whole lot of things, because a lot of areas of civilization have went under the water. So just like they had this flood fairy tale, a lot of people didn't been flooded. Motherfuckers was flooded in North Carolina not too long ago. Flooded down where? In Texas just the other day, where they had what they call biblical floods and shit. You see what I'm saying? So you know, this could be a story that relates to all stories very similar. It's a mega opus fairy tale that is you know, it speaks to an occurrence that happens on the planet, you know, all the time. You see, just like the flood story happened on the planet, and so it very well might not even be a particular area. It could be just a story that speaks to situations, you know, like that, you know, that happened all over the damn planet, and a whole lot of people can relate to that. You feel what I'm saying? And very well, it could be particular, but we gonna keep studying. Bring that back, B1. Bring that back on the next one. We coming. Here we go. This is the general side. I want y'all to get on over there to Patreon. We gonna keep looking for Atlantis. It might be on the inside, just like everything else. I'm gonna do some extra research, and I'm gonna tap in, and goddamn it, I'm gonna find out. And when I figure it out, I'm gonna relay that information to my family on General Seti, Sahara Seti, Patreon, YouTube. I'm gonna run right here, and I'm gonna tell you the answer. This is General Sahara Seti saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation, Black power.